Men, when did you realize you were in love with your partner? My girlfriend hid that she was dying from me and it almost cost us our relationship. When we first started dating we texted every day, and I felt like I found my person. But soon, she started standing me up on dates and ghosting me for days. I thought she had said yes to me out of pity and wanted to break up, so I considered ending things despite how much it would hurt. I went over to her house, and after what felt like 5 minutes of knocking she answered the door. I immediately saw that her face was pale, she had dark circles under her eyes, she looked exhausted and her hair was messy. I had never seen her like this so I quickly asked her what was wrong. But her body suddenly went limp and when she fell into my arms, I immediately felt her burning up. I bathed her and cleaned her because I could smell that she hadn't showered. She kept sneezing and coughing throughout and sounded like she was dying. But I couldn't ask her what was happening because she was too weak to speak. She couldn't even say hi. Afterwards, I blow-dried her hair, made her soup and fed it to her. When she looked a little better I asked her what happened. That's when she explained that she has a weak immune system so she's always getting a fever, and everything else crashes along with it. She said she's basically bedridden when she's sick. She can't shower, eat, or even muster the energy to get out of bed, and she spends most of her time asleep. Suddenly she burst out crying, saying she felt terrible for ghosting me and that she was so sick she couldn't go out or even text me back. I told her not to worry about it but I felt guilty for coming over to break up with her, even though I didn't want to. I promised her then that I would always be there for her whenever she was sick. A year later we had a routine to deal with her illness. We knew she was going to be sick when her nails would be brittle, cracked and pale. So, I would take care of her. But the worst came when I washed her hair and clumps of it would fall out. I even noticed she was starting to develop a bald spot. I told her but she didn't even have the energy to freak out. She just sighed defeatedly. It pained me to see her this way, especially because it felt like there was nothing I could do. She tried various medications, but none improved her immune system, and some even caused allergies or worsened her condition. She never went outside, and our dates turned into nights where I would cook her favorite meals or simply watch her sleep, hoping for a miracle. I could see the despair in her eyes whenever she looked at me, and it crushed me every time she felt like giving up. I knew I had to change things because I didn't think she could take much more. Every time I looked at her, with her cracked lips, thin hair, brittle nails and pale skin, it reminded me she was sick. So, I went online to see if I could find anything that would fix her and get her to be healthy again. It's all I wanted. I researched her problems one by one to see if that would make a difference in the medication I needed. When I searched up what could stop hair loss, I found out collagen was known to make hair grow healthily and strengthen it. When I searched up brittle nails, I learned that biotin helps with improving nail health and thickness. Now I just needed something for her immune system, and after hours of searching I found out that bee pollen can improve the immune system. So I went out and found Bee Vitality Shots, which are a blend that has bee pollen, collagen and biotin. I was shocked since I couldn't find anything else that had everything I needed, so I quickly bought it as a Hail Mary for my girlfriend. When they arrived, I made a smoothie for my girlfriend and added a Bee Vitality Shot to it. Since she barely ate, I knew I lucked out by giving her the shot in a smoothie because she would be getting her nutrients from fruits and getting collagen and biotin, and improving her immune system all in one go. When 3 weeks passed, I could see small changes in my girl. Her face had some color in it and her dark circles weren't so dark. She even started sleeping at normal times. Instead of watching her sleep, we sat on the couch and watched TV. It was easily the best date we ever had because for once, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel as she smiled and laughed like she did when we first met. As the days passed, her body wouldn't be burning so she had the energy to shower on her own. Even though showering her brought us closer in ways I never expected, I was so happy she could stand on her own 2 feet and clean herself. I asked her if we could ever shower together, and she said that once she was all better I could hop in there with her. I was so looking forward to that, but I had never heard her talk so positively before. She never had so much faith in something like the Bee Vitality Shots, though I guess that's because they never did anything for her. She still asked me to help blow dry her hair though, because she hadn't regained all her energy. I didn't mind though because I liked that she needed me. I did notice that she didn't sneeze or cough a lot, and when I pointed it out to her she told me she was glad because she sounded like a dying cat. My girl continued to take the Bee Vitality Shot and from then on she just kept getting better. She told me her hair grew and had more volume to it. It was true, and now blow drying her hair became a huge hassle. Before it was thin and I would get the job done in 15 minutes tops. I mean she literally had a bald spot before. Now, I had to be there for over an hour just moving the dryer up and down all over her head, but it was worth it because I was playing with her hair. She laughed when I got an arm cramp but she kissed it better. I realized she hadn't kissed me in a while because of her illness, but wow, I missed her lips on mine. 2 months later, she surprised me when she asked me to paint her nails. She said that they weren't cracked or brittle so she wanted to paint them and feel like a woman again, especially since her illness made her feel disgusting. I told her she was never disgusting and I would take care of her on her deathbed in every life. While I was painting her nails, she confessed that even though her nails have been pink for a long time and are now stronger, she's sometimes anxious that they'll turn pale or crack and she'll go back to her sick days. I reassured her that taking a Bee Vitality Shot meant her immune system was improving, and it would be rare for her to get sick, and I could tell she felt some comfort in that when she relaxed. After 3 months passed and she had finally regained all her energy and improved her immune system, she said she wanted to take me out on a date to celebrate and thank me for everything. I was so excited to finally go out with her, but I had the biggest shock of my life when she came out in a tight dress and her tatas nearly flashed me. I had seen her breasts plenty of times in the shower, though they just looked like nipples on a flat chest, so I had no idea how this happened. When my girl saw me staring at her breasts, she giggled excitedly. I could have just died, and told me that her breasts felt more tender ever since I started giving her the shots, but she had no idea it was because they were growing in size. She said she first noticed it when she put a bra on, and it felt tight. She had to adjust it to a bigger size. She didn't think that was possible, so she tried on a tank top that usually highlighted just how flat her chest was, but she had a noticeable curve and roundness now. She excitedly said that all of her clothes looked so flattering on her now that she didn't have a boy's chest. She even confessed that she was so embarrassed by her flat chest that she sometimes faked her cleavage in pictures by placing a piece of hair between her girls. I nearly bursted out loud when she showed me a picture. I asked her how her chest grew in size out of nowhere. She said it went from an A cup to a B cup, and she said that it was probably the bee pollen in the bee shot. She explained that when she searched it up, she saw that a lot of girls on TikTok had taken Bee Vitality to improve their immune system, and while it did do that, it also grew their hunker, and she was also confident that was the reason because the shot was the only consistent thing she drank these past 3 months. Luckily, she was happy with the change because it made her feel more confident, and having long hair and pretty nails, and a healthier body just added to her confidence. I had just given her the shots so she could be healthy. I never expected that they would grow her hunker. She told me that I could bury my head in her chest as a thanks, and it just made getting the Bee Vitality shots even more worth it.